Welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic bachelor weekends are in Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler. Joining me on today's episode yet again for another awesome, amazing, wonderful, fantastic episode of Snail Trail 4x4 is the Bachelor himself, Mr. Jimmy Jett. Mr. Bachelor, how are you?
I'm doing well. Well, thanks. Yeah, I had a bachelor weekend. Everybody was gone.
Nice.
And
how did that feel?
It was nice.
It
was a little...
Was it a rough Monday morning or your teaser?
No, yeah, kind of. I mean, not that bad.
Okay.
But yeah, for a little bit there, I was kind of like there was some anxiety around trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
You know? And then, figured it out on Friday morning. So
nice.
We can jump into that a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later for sure. Cool. This episode here is Thursday.
Yes, it is.
So that means it is episode 333.
Yeah.
333. Nice. I'm curious.
Okay.
What you think about having the hottest day on record 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, right.
And 2 weeks later, we've got snow in the Sierras.
I know. I think something's messed up.
Something's definitely messed up. I think it's your tree. Your tree fucked it all up. That's what I'm going to
Yeah, my tree's already flowering.
It's for next year.
Yeah, it's already spring.
That's funny. I don't know. It's interesting. And we're getting a nice big rainstorm coming through right now. Got it downpoured. Woodland got 4 inches of rain.
Serious?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't think it dropped that much where I was.
I don't know where you were. But yeah, Woodland got 4 inches. Davis got like 2.5 inches.
But it rained on Monday or Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was at home then.
Yeah.
So it didn't seem like it rained.
Yeah. The Roseville area got like 3/4 of an inch, half an inch, something like that.
I had a 3+ hour drive and it barely rained on me.
Interesting. Yeah. When I left
on Sunday.
Yeah. I don't think it was raining a little bit when I drove home, but by the time I got home, it was beautiful outside on Sunday. But yesterday, man,
Monday,
sitting around in the warehouse yesterday, that
Monday
was crazy.
Rained pretty good, but it definitely didn't rain 4 inches where at the shop.
No. Yeah, it was pretty crazy seeing that Woodland got that much rain.
Yeah.
So
that's nuts.
But hopefully the mosquito fire, a lot of the evacuations have been lifted.
Yes.
For it. So
I heard that and this is from Monday to Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that the fire did not expand. But they're still at like 39% containment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good news.
It's a positive.
It didn't
for sure
get any larger in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So the rain definitely did something.
Yeah. The rain, cooler temperatures, humidity. So yeah, we'll see how the next week plays out. So I think the hot temperatures are going to be done for the year.
It's supposed to be 90 on Sunday.
Jesus, what the hell? This makes no sense. I'm done.
No, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that probably within, my guess is after this upcoming weekend, they'll open the Rubicon.
I would agree. I think they will too.
I think they're going to wait for past the weekend though to do it. I don't think they're going to open it. My guess is they're not going to open it before this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I could see them doing that. Wait until like Monday to do it. I could see that happening. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the year plays out. I'm really excited to get the rig up and running again, or anxious to get the rig up and running again because I don't want to miss out on snow wheeling.
Yeah,
I want to try these new tires in the snow.
Yeah, me too.
Yokohama. So
yeah, I want to try those new bead locks and get like down low pressure and then try these things in the snow and see how everything works out.
Yep.
I was working on that bead lock video. I shot a video of it.
Okay.
The raw footage is like an hour and a half long, and I was like, oh my God. It's because I had struggled for like an hour to put the damn wheel in the tire.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun little video when it comes out though.
Nice.
You'll see Jimmy at like frustration point and then next morning go, I figured it out.
It's like when you were coming back from MOAB for 2 weeks And you just kind of turned around, looked at the camera, you went,
broke down again.
Yeah.
That's still my like best ever stories, like attention to stories. Yeah.
That was a good time. Not for you, but it was fun watching the story.
It's a great story.
It is for sure.
It's a good story. It wasn't fun at that point in time, but yeah.
Oh man. All right. So on the docket for today, we've got, let's see, we got the giveaway to talk about. We've got reminders about next month to talk about. We've got a voicemail. We're going to do some reviews. We haven't done reviews in a while. So we'll get to see what people are talking and saying about us. All wonderful things, because we are the best off-roading podcast out there
in Northern California,
whatever it is. And then you had a fun weekend and I did a couple things.
Yep.
So
yeah. Sounds good.
We hop on in.
Yeah. Let's start with gift boxes, because I think that's probably the most important information. Coming up here. There's a few things going on with gift boxes. First off, the tier is opening in a matter of weeks. It'll open up on October 1st and be open for the entire month. So if you're looking to move up or possibly move down, this would be a good opportunity for you to do that. So we have the gift boxes coming out, and I think the last item is coming in today.
Okay. Nice.
For the gift boxes that are going to be heading out here this October. And we were able to get them. You guys give us roughly $60. We equate $10 of that towards shipping. And then we try to get the boxes up to around $100 or 100 plus. And we snuck by and we're able to sneak in and do that once again. But in the future, and this is what's going to be changing in gift box land, is it's near impossible for us to get 50% off of products.
Yeah.
And it's just been a really hard time for us to try to get like the gifts. Like, we want to give you guys a good gift, and we want you guys to have great products and to be surprised when you get something from us. But on our end, it's a pain in the rear end to try to go out to companies and ask them for a product 50% off.
Yeah. I don't want to say we've exhausted resources with companies that we work with, but we also don't want you guys to get a bunch of repeat products.
True.
And so like going back and getting whatever the stuff we've gotten in the past.
Have more tape measures.
Yeah, have more tape measures, or more, I don't know, whatever it is, more fire blankets, or, we want to make sure that you guys get something different every time. And so approaching companies and saying, hey, we need to buy, 70 of this item. Can we get it at 50% off? The company's like, yeah, we're not here to go out of business.
Yeah.
We're going to be lowering the value goal for the gift boxes to make the numbers work a little bit better without charging you guys more.
Yeah. We really had two options, right? We could either lower the value goal and not make people cancel Patreon and re-sign up on on Irate through PayPal, and, have to go through a legwork because, we're going to raise the price to $25 a month and then have the goal be $100 or whatever at the end. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're lowering the threshold. So our goal is to get you guys at 25 to 30% of a bonus, which will put you guys at somewhere around $75 to $80 a box for when you give us $50 to $60.
Yeah. So kind of the goal of, the gift boxes, is to, we're not making a whole lot of money on them. We're trying to make you guys money. And it's a fun little project, right? So it's a fun little gift to get twice a year with some fun items in it. So I think by also kind of decreasing the expectations out of it, it's also going to open up the door to some more fun items. Like, there's been a lot of items we've been trying to get in the past that we weren't able to get because the company's just like, go pound sand or get out of here.
The discount is too steep for that. A lot of companies to work with us. And one of the fun things on our end is that we get to connect with a lot of companies, and then hopefully our connections will allow us to open that door and then give you guys good products and fun items in the gift boxes. And then you get a gift from us and a surprise of what's in there.
Yeah.
And trying to hit that mark, the 50% mark, it was too steep. People we got denied way more often than we had any luck.
Yeah.
To make it a little easier on us, to keep the gift box tier going, and for you guys to get a gift from us and a surprise from us, that we're going to lower those expectations a little.
Yep. And yeah, we've been technically doing the gift box for what 2 years now, 2.5,
almost. Well,
three,
almost three. We might have done it for 3 years by now.
But
maybe we started. Yeah, maybe it's 2.5.
2.5. Yeah, but that's only like 5 to 6 boxes then that we've had to kind of figure out the process and figure out how the numbers are working out on everything. So I think that's going to be a really good change. It's going to mean that you guys don't have to do anything.
Right.
Well, hopefully, I think it's really also going to open up the doors for some cool items to get in there too. So.
And that was, I think I would like to stress that the reason that one of the reasons that we're lowering the bar is that so you guys don't have to do extra work and cancel accounts or change accounts or do whatever.
Yeah.
Because if we did raise it and say, hey, now everybody's paying $25, but we're going to try to get you $100+ gift boxes every single month, everybody in that tier would have to change over. That would be a pain in the butt.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think hopefully, for slightly less expectations, we're going to be able to connect with cooler or more different or fun companies, and we're going to be able to get you guys some rad products here in the future.
Yep, I agree. And so reminder also that October is gift month, so that tier will be opening. So if you are trying to bump up tiers from the $5 or the $10 tier to the gift box tier, you need to make sure that you cancel your $5 or $10 tier through PayPal once you do it. So there should be a section in PayPal once you log in to look at your subscriptions, and you should be able to cancel that $5 or $10 one once you signed up for the other one. So.
Yeah, correct. It's not done through iRate. It's done through PayPal.
Correct.
All the money side of things is done through PayPal. You just signed up on iRate, but you can't cancel that way, to my knowledge. So yeah, you need to go in and cancel through PayPal and then sign up on iRate to get into that $20 tier.
Yep. Cool.
Also, while you're in PayPal, if you're canceling one and moving up to the other, make sure that your address is correct.
Yes, please.
Because I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it yet. I think we can pull when we pull who's in the tiers that we get addresses. But so we're going to be shipping off of PayPal's address. And there's a few people in there like Brian Bendex and Debbie Poole.
Yeah.
That you guys might want to check whose address is in there.
Yeah. Right. Man. Yeah. Make sure you guys' PayPal info is up to date. That's your warning number 2. I think you're going to get 1, maybe 2 more warnings about it. So cool. So that's gift boxes. We also have a monthly giveaway going on as always.
Yes, we do. Every month.
And so this month is Gear Wrench Corey's Storage Locker Clean Out Giveaway Extravaganza. Woo!
I brought in some new tools. Are we going to throw those tools into the extravaganza?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
All right.
They're useful.
Oh, absolutely. They might have been slightly used.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think anybody will care.
Did you use them as shot glasses?
No, I think I used them as a demo.
Oh, okay.
They don't look like
so they looked kind of brand new. They're just outside of their packaging.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. Okay. I think one of them was used as the demo.
Okay.
When they back in the day when they first came out and they wanted me to make a video of it.
Yep.
I think that's one of them that they sent me.
Okay. So what are these?
So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-piece gear wrench bolt biter set.
Nice.
I believe are they all 3/8? No, they're 1/4 inch and 3/8. And then they go from 16 millimeter or 5/8 down to 7 millimeter. But the 8 millimeter is a 5/16. Nice. So these don't have the plus or the minus sizes. Oh. These are just the standard ones.
Okay.
But it's one size for the bolt biter extractors to extract the bolt. These aren't the screw ones, which we talked about in the past. But yeah, so almost hit the board there. Almost dropped it. But yeah, so that's going to be a new item that's coming down in the giveaway this month. So that bumps it up at least another $20, I think.
At least, yeah.
So
I don't know how much those are.
Not sure.
So
yeah, but besides that, wonderful little extra item in there. We have an electronic torque wrench is what I was looking for. I I want to say E-Spec, but
yeah, it's not the E-Spec.
It's not the E-Spec. We've got a flashlight, a tape measure, a screwdriver. That's the 11-in-1.
Mhm.
We have just some normal everyday pliers, which nice, comfy grips.
Yeah.
We have some, I said with snips last time, but they're not snips, but they are, in a way, they're snips,
Kind of.
but they're strong enough to probably to be some snips.
Probably.
But they're actually scissors, but they're great. I love them.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
What else do we got down there?
The light up Puerto Rican socket set is no longer in this kit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. You've got
it disappeared. It walked off.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went, but it walked off. So
grew some legs, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We've got the clutch, 1/4-inch impact clutch screwdriver bit adapter.
I just took that out of the packaging at my shop. I want to try that thing out.
I was using it to build the bar on the DeWalt 1/4-inch impact.
Okay.
It worked great. I never broke any bits, never stripped anything. I wish it was magnetic though. So
yeah.
Let's see. We've got a 9/16 wrench,
probably,
which is also a 14 millimeter for all you Toyota people out there. And then a nice diamond tipped girthy screwdriver.
Yeah, girthy.
It is girthy.
Yep. And then once again, we're adding in the bolt biters into that mix. So
yep, and a couple other things. There's a really cool light in there, and we'll probably find some other stuff and throw them in there as well for you guys.
Just like I was cleaning the shop a little bit, and I came across these. I have a few things that I kind of have doubled up now in the shop. So I was like, oh, I can add these to the giveaway.
Nice.
So yeah, so grabbed them, brought them in.
So it's also the Snail Trail shop clean out giveaway too.
I wouldn't go that far. Definitely more from Gear Wrench Corey than from Snail Trail.
I heard you might have a set of coilovers over there that you're trying to clean out.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in getting some coilovers before Tyler shows up,
no,
you guys can definitely have them. I expect Ben over at like 9 a.m. on.
Ben's gonna fly over.
So this episode, I don't know. I release it. I schedule it to come out at 4:20 in the morning, but I don't think it is released at that point in time. Because at least my Google podcast that I use, whenever I look at it, it finds it like an hour or so later.
Interesting.
So I think the RSS feed for Google is slow.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's always kind of
picking up the RSS.
It's always been slow picking up the RSS feed. So I'm not sure what their trolling rate is on their RSS bots, but
maybe I should try like 4:18 and see if it like hits immediately.
Yeah.
But if Ben, I suspect Ben's an Apple guy.
He does seem kind of like an Apple guy,
and he's a Ford guy, so I assume he's an Apple guy. So theirs probably trolls really fast. So he should be at my house probably at like
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think that's about right.
And Ben, I won't be there.
He's gonna climb in through a window and go digging for the coilovers.
They're Fox, aren't they? Fox?
Yeah, Fox 14-inch
coilovers,
2.0 remote resis.
Yeah.
So
yeah, up for grabs.
No, I need those. We got some fun stuff coming in the pipeline for the podcast regarding suspensions.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to talk with this individual.
Oh yeah.
I've already started kind of like asking him questions.
Yeah. He's a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, he is.
Oh my gosh. I've picked his brain a bunch and come to some interesting outcomes for the Samantha build.
Yeah.
So
cool. We'll talk about that, I think, later on as well, what those kind of ideas are. Cool. Let's see. We have a voicemail.
Okay.
Somebody called in and wanted to say hi to us.
Yay. Hi. Mystery person.
It's Craig from Oklahoma.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Craig from Oklahoma.
So let's see here. Craig from Oklahoma said he's not going to leave a 45-minute voicemail.
You can't. So that works.
I know, right? Unless he calls back 15 times. What did that be? All right. So let's hear what Craig has to say, shall we?
Hey, this is Craig from Oklahoma again. Not going to leave a 45-minute voicemail about beer again.
He's beer Craig.
I just wanted to leave a voicemail of appreciation. I'm living vicariously through you guys. I'm living this overloaded mountain rock crawler life in Oklahoma, and also I'm loving learning about all the stuff. It's great. It's the only off-road podcast I can listen to, and I've tried. Jimmy, I want to say you are doing a great job as a stepdad, and I appreciate how much you love your stepdaughter. I'm sure you don't hear that from the off-roaders, so you need to hear it. But I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best off-road podcast in Oklahoma, #1 growing, whatever, Toyota, whatever, Jeeps, not mudding podcast in Oklahoma.
Perfect.
T-shirt. Appreciate you guys. Can't do anything else you want to win because I don't have any other stuff. But thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Still too long. Have a great day.
That was super
Craig.
cool.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. I do love my stepdaughter and embrace her. Yeah, for sure. She's a cool girl. And I think, taking her to Disneyland and everything that we did down in Southern California, that she had an absolute ball. Unfortunately, we learned that Super Mario Land is going to be opening like February.
They're making a Super Mario Land
at Universal Studios, and it's supposed to have a Mario Kart race.
Okay.
So I think we're going to be going back sooner than later.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And I'm super excited for that. So that'll be fun. But that's cool. I mean, I'm glad we're the #1 growing, fastest off-road non-mudding Toyota podcast out in Oklahoma. So that's cool.
Right. And what was the other stuff thrown in there, and Jeeps and everything else?
Yeah. All the above.
Yeah. No, that was super cool. That's a Beer Craig. So I'm if ever, I don't remember if everybody remembers. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I don't know what I'm saying a lot of times. That he called in a while ago to talk about beer and how gozas are made.
Yes.
And sours.
Absolutely. After we went to High Water Brewing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that was a really cool series of voicemails that we got to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate everything, Craig. Thank you.
Yep, I agree. So let's see. We did a voicemail. We got some reviews to catch up on.
Yeah, we do. We have do you know how many reviews we've had? I know it's been a while, and I think we've and I sent Mart, I sent you your 400th review package that you won for the giveaway that we're doing. So that also means that coming up fairly soon, we should be hitting 450 reviews, which we'll be giving away another swag pack. And once we get to 500 reviews, which Craig alluded to, we're giving away a winch. So
yeah, buddy.
We're not probably, we've got roughly 100 reviews to go, my guess, if not a little bit less.
So we are at 416.
416.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're almost a quarter of the way, of the way to 450.
Almost. Yep. Yeah. A third of the way about. All right. So some of the reviews we have coming up here. It's from Cruising to Camp podcast with a lot of exclamation points.
Okay. So Cruising to Camp podcast left us a review.
He did indeed. Nice. Or they did indeed.
Yeah.
Because they have multiple personalities over there. It says the review, 5 stars. If you like camping in Toyotas, working on Toyotas, and maybe even pooping on Jeeps, this might be the podcast for you. Fantastic listen with the Snail Trail Boys.
Nice. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. If nobody's seen yet, he's making additions to his Burfield chalice.
Oh, I saw a photo of it on our group text thread.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks quite interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully he finally cleaned it.
I doubt it. It gets cleaner the more you drink out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The next one here is from Kurian.
Perfect. Don't try it again.
It says good listen, even if you're not a Toyota fanboy. A lot of fun to listen to Jimmy and Tyler and their various guests. I like the laid back nature of the podcast. Makes it feel like you're just listening to a few buddies chat at the end of the day, which is kind of true. I mean,
that's what we strive for, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like We literally don't chat other times because we're like,
Yeah.
oh, we need to chat. We need to chat about this on the podcast.
Yeah. We'll talk business, but we won't talk about what we're up to.
Yeah. We kind of like keep it hidden and secret from each other. Dude, you'll never guess what I did this last weekend.
You have
What'd you do? I'm
idea.
not telling you.
Yeah, I said that.
Where'd you go for your bachelor weekend? I can't tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I'll tell you in one word, hit the big red button.
Yeah. Next one is from B. Man, I'm getting old. B Spill 1. It says, great show. Thanks. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Is that a t-shirt one?
No. I still
don't
need
think
to
so.
make one of those t-shirts.
I think we should make a t-shirt one out of Craig's. Figure out exactly what he said. Beer Craig.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Figure out exactly what he said and just put that on a t-shirt on the back. Just a paragraph of it.
Perfect. Well, you don't delete them, so
Yeah.
we could dive into that.
That is true. We could. Next one here is It's Jess 5757. It says the best 4x4 podcast with a bunch of exclamation points. It says there's not many podcasts that'll give away a free winch. So that makes yours the best. Love it. I'm so glad that our bribery is working. Just
Right?
FYI.
We're gonna have to figure out something for 1,000.
I know, right? I didn't think we'd get to 500. Like when you first said that, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can give away a winch because it's never going to happen.
And here we are, less than 100 away.
Yes, I'm like, now we actually got to give away
I
a winch.
actually have to, give away my winch.
Mm-hmm. And my winch, like last time I was out and used it, it was going pretty damn slow. So I'm kind of like, I may need that winch too. Oh man. Anyways, last one for today is going to be from Mr. Lincoln. That's the title. The name is 696969696969696969. And it says Mr. Lincoln.
Okay.
Says the best 4x4 off-road and camping podcast by far from Abraham Lincoln in 1860. Wait, there's a more in the full review here? No, that's it. Interesting. Yeah.
Sweet.
That's it. So from Mr. Abraham Lincoln and dated 1860.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lincoln.
Because you guys know what 4x4 in was in 1860.
Heck yeah, you could see what they could do with those horses, man.
Was the wheel even invented then?
I don't know. They might have had horse-drawn carriages. Those big-ass tricycles or the bicycles. That was one huge wheel and one little tiny one.
I want to try to ride one of those.
It would be very entertaining.
I hear they're very hard.
I can imagine that they would be. It'd be like a unicycle with not much balance helping.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So that's going to do it for today on reviews.
Sounds good.
So thank you guys for writing in. We love the camaraderie. We love hearing from Abraham Lincoln. Hopefully you guys are remembering the account names and what you wrote in, because when we pick winners, we're using the account names that they're written on. So keep that in mind as we pick winners for swag packs, because every 50 we do a swag pack out to people. And so the next swag pack is going to be 450, and that's the last one.
Yeah.
Because after that, it's 500, and that's a winch.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we do 1,000, then we might do every 50 up.
I wonder if we can get like a set of tires for 1,000. That would be kind of cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to talk to our new buddies over at Yokohama. Oh, here's something else I meant to talk with you about. We're going to talk about it now.
Okay.
So, we are looking at setting up a sales channel for Yokohama tires for the podcast.
Yes.
So that listeners can look at getting a set of tires from Yokohama and have a place to go to do that.
Correct.
So we're looking at our good friend Morgan over at Sidetracked Off-Road.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yep. And he's all on board for it. Yeah. So good. Morgan's all up for it. He's like, hell yeah, let's get this going. Let's set up a fun little sales channel for tires. But Yokohama, in order for him to get an account open with Yokohama, he has to order 30 tires, which I'm like, I need new tires on the F-150. So
sure.
I like really bad. So I'm like, okay, I'll take up 4 of those tires for myself. We also had a couple of other listeners, I think they were up to like 5, 6, or 7 now that have reached out about where they can get some tires.
Oh, interesting.
Some Yokohama tires.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do essentially a group order and see how many of that initial order we can get sold before placing the order with Yokohama.
Okay.
So if anybody was interested in the Yokohama tires, go look at the Yokohama website, pick out what you want, and send that in to myself or Jimmy, and we'll put it all together in a Sidetracked Off-Road's opening order with Yokohama. And that way they'll get the account set up. Once the account is set up, then we have an ongoing sales channel for people to order tires through.
Sweet.
Through Morgan. So all of everybody that had been reaching out about Yokohama tires, reach back out and we can put a big order together. And that way we get the sales channel open for future stuff here for the podcast.
Yes, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I knew that was sort of coming down the line, but I think that's a great idea to figure out what the initial 30 are that we need to order to just open that up. So, and it's cool to support our local buddy Morgan and have him, turn in return supporting us by opening that up. So,
yep. And Morgan does some phenomenal prices. If you go and pick your stuff up from him, which I mean, that means you're kind of localized more to NorCal region. He really does take care of you.
Absolutely.
And he does everything he can to take care of you. If you're not local and you got to ship stuff, just give him a call and tell him that you're reaching out on behalf from Snail Trail 4x4, and he'll give you a nice discount, whatever he can do. So,
right.
Yep. So to go check out Morgan at Sidetracked Off-Road. Let us know what you guys are interested in for the Yokohama tires, and we'll put it all together for you and get that order going as soon as possible here for everybody.
Sweet.
So
that's exciting news.
Yeah.
I might need some tires for Samantha.
Yeah, right. Did you know that Morgan has steel beadlocks for like $150?
What? No.
Yeah. I was perusing through his beadlock stuff yesterday.
Oh.
And he's got steel beadlocks for $150.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go that direction.
So, I mean, he's just, I don't know. He's got so much stuff, like products that he has access to through Sidetracked Off-Road. So definitely go and check it out. Everything he's got going on at the website. And let's get some tires going for everybody.
Yes. Let's do it.
Cool. I think that about does it.
Yeah. The only last thing on my list here is just a reminder that the form down in the description for episode 350 for you guys asking us or the assistant or secretary questions for that episode. So if you got any questions for any or all four of us, click that link below and go in there and write your question.
Cool. I like it. Give us some questions. We need content for episode 350.
Yeah, kind of.
Otherwise, it's going to be us sitting around talking about, I don't know, probably wine and beer and liquor.
Which I don't think anybody would be upset about.
I don't think so either. Supposedly, there's a beer crisis in the United States.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, I don't know how much I believe it.
It was a carbon dioxide right?
Yeah, okay. That makes, I mean, if it's like a carbon dioxide thing or... Yeah, because I just kind of made the joke. I was like, well, that just means everyone's going to switch over to White Claws finally. No matter how much you don't want to.
Yeah, but even then, that's carbonized or carbonation of those.
I know, but if it's a carbonation thing, then, maybe we'll just all have to go back to wine and create a wine bottle shortage again.
Yeah, wine, whiskey, or vodka or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, I don't know, growing hops would be a fun side gig. If you are in an area that's, has a lot of breweries nearby that does their own brewing, then.
Yeah. When I was looking into it, people wanted a lot. Like, so you had to have like acres of hops and they want them in pellet form and to be tested so that they know how many, how hoppy the hops are.
Okay.
And so, it was like, oh, I can grow a bunch of plants. That's no problem. And then it turned into like, no, we need thousands of plants and you need to pelletize them and you need to go get them all tested or a bunch of them tested. So we know the hoppiness. I'm like, that's more than I want to do.
I wonder what the profit margins are when you compare them between hops and weed. It's like
weed's probably way higher.
I would guess weed's way higher. Because I was like, man, there's a lot of industrial places building up around NorCal that are growing weed. What if they all kind of switched over and devoted an acre to hops? And I was like, I don't think they would. I think the profit margins are way higher on weed.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the process of growing weed, but I do know that they come from the same family. The hops and weed plants are actually quite similar.
Yeah.
But I think that.
Did you guys talk about this on Garden Hour, Garden Power,
Flower Power Garden Hour with Marlene? No, we didn't.
Okay.
I've talked about it with some friends that do grow.
Okay.
But my hops are, I mean, I just leave them all the time and they grow fine. And pot plants, you don't do that.
Do you use your hops? Have you like harvested them, used them for anything?
The very first year I started growing hops, I've used them.
Okay.
I harvest them, I dried them, kind of set them, got them ready for that. And I'm not sure if I did it right, but I only end up with like, they look like little tiny pine cones, right? And so all I ever did was I threw them in a beer and it's what they call dry hopping.
Okay.
And so you like say I had a Coors Light and I poured it in a glass and then I threw some hops from my plant that are dried. I threw them in there.
You made beer tea.
Kind of. Yeah. Okay. And it raises the hoppiness of a beer.
Got it.
That's all I've ever done with mine. This year, my plants are flourishing. They're the biggest they've ever grown. Like, how I have them set up on a ladder and then I put a piece of bamboo up from there.
Yeah.
They grew all the way up that and fell and have grown, but fallen halfway back down to the ground.
Wow. That's like 15 feet to the top of the pole you put on there.
Yeah. They probably grew at least 20 feet tall.
Wow.
And then folded over like 5 feet or 7 feet or something like that. And, in my experience, the more hops grow above 10 feet than below 10 feet. So the taller the plant grows, the more hops you're going to get.
Yeah,
and it's like, maybe like, let's just say, and I'm talking out of my rear end here, for every foot below that is below 10 feet, like 5 hops grow on this plant. Every foot above 10 feet, there's like 40 hops.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Jesus. When you said more, I didn't think it was like
it's
much
like
more.
Triple or quadruple. It's crazy.
Wow.
So I have I did a video a little while on my personal Instagram and I scanned by and I was like, where are you at, Marlene, the plant lady? She didn't respond.
Oh,
yeah.
You got to send that to the group thread with her in there.
I should. Yeah.
Man, well, that's interesting. I don't know. I've never looked into growing plants. I can't grow plants.
Yeah.
They all die. So
they're
it's
an
impossible.
interesting plant. So one of the things after we do this house swap, the house that we're going to move into gets beat pretty hard on the west side. And
it's like stepchildren.
Yeah. My stepdaughter almost got beat this morning. She was just being a pill. Maybe I shouldn't put that on the air.
We could edit that out.
I've never ever hit that girl. So, yeah, but yeah, it was photo day today.
That's cool.
And and nothing. We had an outfit picked out the night before. We had shoes and socks and everything picked out. Right. And then she woke up this morning. She's like, I don't want to wear that.
Sounds like my wife.
Yeah. We're like, but now, which you couldn't do before, like when I was growing up, now you can choose your background.
What?
Yeah. And there's like 20 backgrounds you can choose. So we found an outfit and then we went and chose a background so that you're not wearing a purple shirt and a purple background.
What's wrong with that?
You just float. There's a head floating in air.
Right.
And she's like, I don't want to wear it. And we're like, too late. You already, and man, I went downhill from there. Like she didn't want to eat, like we have cereal and a banana usually in the morning and she didn't want to eat her banana. And we're like, all right, fine, go grab a nectarine. And she's like, I don't want to eat that either. And we're like, it just was just bad after bad after
Here
bad.
You get spinach then.
Yeah, exactly. It turned into one of those scenarios where it's like, all right, if you're not doing this, you're not going to get dessert tonight. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, fine, I'll eat the banana. Anyways, where were we? So we're moving into my parents' house. That house has a west facing, like a huge wall that's west facing. So at sunset, it just gets cooked.
Yeah.
But hops grow during the summer. And so I've thought about lining a bunch of those hops up on the west facing wall and growing them up to the second story. So then during summertime, they're shading the house. And then during winter, they die off. It's a rhizome. So they die off all the way to the roots. And then they regrow from the roots every year.
Okay.
And so, yeah, just cut them down, let them reset. And the next year they start growing up the wall again.
Yeah. Would you put like a lattice on the wall or something for them to climb up, or do they climb the wall just fine?
No, they wouldn't climb the wall fine. I would have to have something up there. But if I'm going to if I'm planning on removing the vine every year, a lattice would suck.
Do they smell really hoppy?
No.
Okay. I was like, whoever's in that room there on that west wall just gets a beer high, hop high all day.
Yeah, I'm just like, open that window up. I'm sleeping in this room.
Oh, man.
No, but I was, a lot of people do something similar, like, with some vines or grapes or wisteria, all these things that will grow and flourish during, spring and summer, and then de-leaf during the winter so that like maybe sun goes down on the patio instead of being shaded. So I thought about doing it with hops.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I approve.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
All right, man. So before we get into your weekend, we'll cover mine real quick because mine's going to be quick and pretty lame.
Sure.
All I really did was I swapped out my radiator.
Boring.
Next topic. No, I was, we talked a little bit about my heating issues, I think on the last episode or last Thursday's episode. I'm just like, you know what, let's just put a 3-core radiator in. The other issue is that I have the Blackmagic Flexolite fan, which is a really freaking awesome electric fan, but it doesn't fit on the radiators very well.
Oh, interesting.
That I have. And so there's gaps in it. And I'm like, it's pulling a lot of airflow, but I'm pretty sure it's pulling airflow in through the gaps too.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
And so I found a radiator. It's a 3-core aluminum, so it's a little bit thicker. So there's more capacity in the radiator as well, and an extra core. So there's more surface area for water to cool off on inside the radiator as well. So I got that, and that radiator came with an electric fan and shroud built to the radiator.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it has 0 gaps.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
It's not as strong of a fan as the Flexolite Blackmagic one, but there's no gaps now in the shroud.
Wire it for 24 volt
to speed up the higher voltage on it. Right. So I'm like, well, let's see how that does. So I also, turns out the thermostat for the 3.4 engine, the Toyota 3.4, the jiggler valve on it, if you set it at the bottom, 6 o'clock rather than 12 o'clock, you're supposed to get like a 10-degree decrease in temperature on your engine.
Okay. I don't know what's a jiggler valve.
Jiggler valve is the essentially the hole in the top of the thermostat that allows fluid to go through the thermostat without opening up the thermostat.
Okay.
So it's a really small hole. It's like 1/8 inch inner diameter.
And you can move that location?
You just rotate the thermostat.
So 180 degrees. Oh, rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise wherever you place it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So like in a 22RE, you're used to a 22RE thermostat, which sits level on top of the engine block.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't matter really which way it goes.
Got it.
But because the thermostat in the 3.4 is vertically mounted right at the water pump, apparently it matters which direction you put that jiggler valve, where you put it, where you clock it at.
Yeah.
And so if you clock it at 6 o'clock, when I took it out, it was clocked at 12 o'clock. Apparently having it at 6 o'clock is what the factory service manual calls for, as well as it supposedly makes your engine run 10 degrees cooler.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay.
So if you want 5 degrees, you put it at 3 or 6.
3 or 6 maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. 3 or 9. So I'm like, I don't know, whatever. I'm just going to go for it. So I put all that back together. The cooling system is all back together, but I can't turn on the vehicle to burp the cooling system because I haven't got my alternator back from Premier yet.
Oh.
So yeah, they told me it would be 2 to 3 day turnaround time from the time they received it. And then
it's been a few weeks.
We're on week number 3.
I did want to ask you, like, what did you talk to Premier about what happened and about how you accidentally messed up because you didn't flip the switch, and how maybe they should consider not making the 12 volt side active if the DC side is, or the AC side active while the DC side is going? Yeah. And make that switch like a permanent cutoff so that it, kind of air quotes, idiot proof.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Idiot over there.
Yeah.
What did they say about that?
They said, "Oh, that's probably a good idea. We'll look into it." And I was like, I mean, it's not that hard to do. They have a light that comes on when you flip that switch.
Sure.
So I'm like, they already have that whole circuit set up to be an on-off circuit. It would just be a matter of hooking in the relay control, adding in a relay to it and hooking in a relay control that runs off of the light circuit. So when you flip it on and the light turns on, then it engages the circuit for the 110 volt circuit. But I'm like, as of right now, the way it's wired, it seems like that circuit always has power. It just has a transformer built into it so that when you flip the switch, the transformer gets engaged to bump up the power outage, the amperage to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, why don't you just add a relay in there? And that way it's idiot proof and you don't have people accidentally burning up their alternators. But I'm,
yeah.
Whatever.
Like this idiot over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm fixing that problem by not using power tools off it anymore. At least that's the goal.
But it was originally when you got the Premier, it was one of the selling points.
It was.
Like I can use all my corded tools on this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so I'm like, well, now that that's a problem, using the corded tools on it, then, fuck it. All right.
Well,
fine.
and now that you built your bar with all these power tools that you were able to get.
Yes. Had to buy the power tools in order to build the bar.
Absolutely.
So.
Couldn't use the corded ones.
Nope. Not at all. Yeah.
So you can't test and see if the truck's running any better because you don't have an alternator.
Nope.
You don't want to drive out on the freeway and have it die and not be able to come home.
Yep. And so, yeah, it's and one of my batteries is at 6.5 volts.
Oh, geez.
So I'm like, well, I killed the battery doing all this too.
Bummer.
So I got to replace one of the batteries now as well. But yeah, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
Everything fit up great though. I had the radiator and everything swapped out in about an hour. And redid the wiring plug on it to be a waterproof wiring plug. So that the wiring for the fan.
Okay.
And it all plugs and it just plugs directly into the temperature control relay that I have set up on it all. So
nice. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be nice once you're able to drive it again.
Yeah. Once I'm able to drive it, I'm waiting on the alternator still to show up as well as all my stuff from Busted Knuckle Off-Road. So they told me it would be 5 to 6 days to receive all that. And we're on week 2.5 now.
So that's 4 days over business days.
Which is, I'm not too concerned about it. I'm just kind of like, well, I have these weekends now to work on the stuff. I want to work on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep, I get it.
Cool.
I own an off-road business. I get what's going on.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that was my weekend. Other than that, I just hung out with family. It was my grandmother's and my uncle's birthday. So we celebrate their birthday on the same day. So the family got together and hung out with everybody and got to catch up. And it was a fun, relaxing Sunday. So
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
What did you do, Mr. Bachelor?
Yeah.
I'm really curious to hear this story.
Well, let's see. I was supposed to be at Marlin Crawler Round Up.
You were.
And a lot of people were.
Yeah. Why were you not there then?
Because the fire was going on and the Rubicon was closed and Marlin Crawler decided to cancel the event because of everything that's going on up here in Northern California. So I also got invited to go out to Fordyce with Hustle Nuts. And I was like, it's supposed to be smoky. I don't really want to do it. I was invited to go down to Doozy and wheel Doozy. And I'm like, that's kind of far.
Yeah. It's a long trip.
It is a long trip. It would have been a fun trip, I think, but it's a long trip. Let's see. And then I knew some people going to Barrett.
Okay.
And I was like, that could be fun. But I think I don't want to go up in the area. I think it's going to be smoky as well.
Yeah.
Though I heard it wasn't that bad, but still meant it was smoky.
Yeah.
So I was sort of sitting around trying to twiddle my thumbs, figuring out what I'm going to do. I saw on Facebook or on Instagram, that Dimitri was headed out to King Kong Brewing on Friday night. And I was like, oh, that might be fun. I can just go down there, have a few beers, hang out, and see what everybody's up to. And then I think we were in our one of our podcast group chat with like Wheeling Wine and Whiskey and Cruise into Camp and us.
Okay.
And somebody was like, what are you doing this weekend? And I was like, I have no idea. I might wash some trucks.
Yeah.
Right. And then like within a few minutes later, I got a phone call from Jason Green. Yeah. And he said, hey, if you're not doing anything this weekend, we're shorthanded at the Esprit de Four Safety Clinic.
There you go.
And we could really use some extra help.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun thing to go and do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, are you going to DeRose?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I am. I'm like looking at my watch and I go, okay, I got an hour and a half that I need to pack. Because usually goes like somewhere around 3 or I think they close at 4. So I was like,
okay.
Yeah. I think maybe I asked him, are you going to DeRose? What time? And maybe he said 3. And I was like, okay, I got like an hour and a half to pack. Bye. And then we talked a little bit about food and some of the logistics, but yeah. So I needed to go to the grocery store. I needed to go back to the shop and take the rooftop tent off of Bobcat and throw it onto Charlotte. And I needed to do some packing, which isn't terribly bad. I just needed to pack my clothes because I just threw whatever was in the bins. I just threw it into the truck. I got to the shop to swap the rooftop tents, and I was very tempted to be like, it's kind of a lot of work to switch to the rooftop tents.
Just take Bobcat.
Maybe I'll just drive Bobcat onto the trailer and tow all the way down. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work too, towing that whole way. So yeah, I swapped the tent and bombed down there. I got there at 3:15. So I was 15 minutes later than I tried to get there, but it wasn't bad. Cruise down was fine. It was nice and easy. I maybe could have made up that 15 minutes, but I didn't worry about it too much. Got down to DeRose, had a great time there. One of the owner's sons was doing the tasting. And so we got to taste some bottles that weren't necessarily on the list.
The super secret ones?
Yeah, kind of.
Nice. Those are the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the owner came by and Jason knows him. And so they started talking about it. And then he pulled out another bottle and we had another sip of something else. And yeah, at the end there, I was like, oh man, all these wines are good. Like they don't make a bad winery or a wine at all. And I learned a lot. They they don't use yeast. They do natural fermentation. Okay. So there's yeast on the skins and yeast in the air in the winery, and they just use that. They just let it naturally ferment.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's risky because the yeast could die when it's making the alcohol process at like 3%. Yeah. And you don't get a good wine. You don't
get to 14. Yeah.
Exactly. But I guess they've been doing this process for so long and getting grapes from the same vineyards for so long. They know, or they can expect what alcohol outcome.
Interesting.
In the process. Okay. So, a little future casting here. I ended up working the stair steppers at section with Wheeling Wine and Whiskey with Jason and Chris, both of them. And between sessions, between people going out and then coming back to our section, we sat down and recorded a podcast. Okay. And I don't know when that one will be out, but we did cover this much more in depth on their podcast. So I'm kind of glazing the surface on that. Okay. But then we tried some like carbonic wine where they, I think they I think they had the grapes and they were starting the fermentation process, but then they put CO2 in and cover so that the top layer of grapes weren't touching air.
Oh, interesting.
They're touching CO2. Yeah. Not enough to carbonate the wine, but enough to separate it from oxygen.
From oxygen, yeah.
And so it changed the whole flavor of the wine.
Interesting.
That way. And it was a white wine, but they must have had some red grape skins in there because it was like a rosé looking thing, but it was made with like a Zin grape. It was really weird. And I'm not sure that whole process. Yeah. And we talk about it a little bit more. Okay. But it's super tasty. So anyway, so we tasted like 4 whites and we tasted, like 4 reds. Their old vine Syrah was so good.
Old vines are great.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was super tasty. And so I ended up buying a case of their Cab Franc, which is awesome. And And then I bought a case, another one and I said all 4 whites that we tasted. And I normally don't buy whites, but they were super good. One of them was that carbonic wine.
Okay.
And then I bought 2 of the Old Vine Syrahs, 2 of their Zins. And then I bought, 2 of another year, an older year Franc. And then I bought, they also make international wines. Okay. And I bought a Chianti and a Malbec.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so
you're carrying these 2 cases?
2 cases out to the, to go out to be help instruct in a 4x4 event. It was super funny. But that man, if you ever go to Hollister Hills and you have time, it's only like a half a mile further past the schoolhouse for the off-roading section. And the winery is outstanding.
I still haven't been to DeRose.
Yeah. We would be members there if it wasn't so far away.
Yeah.
And I know you could do the shipping thing, but it just costs a lot at that point in time.
Yeah.
That or we're members there and we go and pick up like once a year.
Yeah. Once a year at the safety clinics.
Yeah. So after that, we went back to the Area 5, the camping area, and more people showed up by that point. Dolly and Eric were there.
Oh, nice.
Checkpoint Dolly. They were volunteering as well. And then there was a bunch of people from the Esprit de Four club that were there. And really, we just hung out that night. Jason cooked dinner. He made a steak. And then he did mushrooms on it. And we had, he also grilled up some veggies. And then I bought potato salad and mac salad.
Nice.
And so we had this feast between the 2 of us and we're eating red meat. So I was like, let's open another bottle of wine. Yeah. So we kept drinking wine. I drank wine all night until I think I had a banquet beer was like the last thing I had before I went to bed.
Okay.
Kelly, one of the previous presidents was there and he pulled out this like cookie dough ice cream or cookie dough lager or something like that beer.
Oh,
you would have loved it. It was horrible. I couldn't I'm like, ooh, that is sweet. And
like
it was
a cookie dough lager, or was it like a cookie dough stout?
I don't think it was a stout. It was something. It was like a cookie dough IPA or something.
I don't know if I would have liked it then.
It tasted like cookie dough, but I was like, I don't want that as a beer.
Okay.
And he didn't either. So then I brought some Loomis Basin Brewery beers down, and I brought a what do they call it? California Cruisin'. It's just like a light ale of some sort. So I gave him one of those. We had I think we were up to like 11, maybe 12 and just chilled, relaxed. We didn't even have a fire. We're just all sitting around.
Yeah.
And went to bed.
Nice.
The next day.
That was all Friday?
That was Friday. So the next day, everybody's up at like 7, organizing, laying out flags. Registration opens at 7:30. Everybody's supposed to be there before 8. I went around and I asked the Magnuson. I can't Magnus. I don't remember. It's either Magnuson or Magnus.
Okay.
He's sort of the head honcho organizer of the event. So I was like, hey, I'm here to volunteer. What do you need me to do? He's like, actually, can you go over and relieve that guy? He's supposed to be checking vehicles. And I was like, sure. So I walked over there, I took his vest, asked him what he's doing. He's pretty much lining everybody up for registration. So whenever somebody came in the gate, I put him in line and then, sent him over to registration. Yeah. Then they were taking 2 people at a time at registration. So I just, all right. So I sat there until 8:15 or so when nobody else was coming. And I was like, okay. And nobody was in line. So I was like, if anybody comes in, they're just going to come straight to registration.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yep, that's fine. At 9, I think they start the class session.
Okay.
And go for an hour or 2 maybe a little 2.5 hours ish. Okay. And they talk about everything.
Yeah.
I learned some stuff from their, their discussion. And CJ with the CJ was there.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
How's he doing?
So cool to see him.
Yeah.
He's doing good. He's walking around with a cane.
Nice.
I guess his pain is way down.
That's good.
He's
Can you imagine the pain that he was in?
No.
Dude.
No,
if your sciatic nerve has to rebuild itself.
Yes.
Can you fucking imagine that? Dude.
I've had a pinched nerve.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
But
I can't imagine a nerve trying to grow.
Right.
I had a guy at my old, when I was a graphic designer job, he got in a motorcycle accident and he lost his nerve that went from like his shoulder to his elbow and controlled his bicep.
Okay.
And every once in a while I would see him just wincing in pain because the nerve will regrow.
Yeah.
But it grows
the entire length.
It has to, wherever it died, it has to grow the entire way down. It won't grow back up towards, they won't come together and meet like finger cuffs.
Correct.
It has to regrow the whole length. And so, and they only grow like a centimeter a year.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So nuts. So great to see him, see him walking around. I met his fiance.
Oh,
I've
cool.
never met her. So it was the first time I met her. Yeah. He was up on stage, it was him, Jason Green, and Kelly doing the lecture.
Nice.
And they cover everything. They cover, safety, equipment, beginning off-roading. This is a beginning off-roading course. So they cover the whole gamut. And I told Jason, I'm like, man, like you cover everything and it's a lot of information. And it's impossible to retain everything.
Yeah.
But there are people engaged, they were talking about winching and proper ways to winch and people are asking questions. And so it was good. So then after that, then they break for lunch. And when they break for lunch, everybody goes to their section and they have lunch with their group.
Okay.
And this year they changed things up a little bit. There was only 4 groups and everybody does tire placement first.
Oh,
and they made a bunch of tire placement obstacles, which is pretty much a 4x4 cut like 4 inches tall.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like a 4x4 cube.
Yeah.
And your goal, and then they lay them out and your goal is to hit them
with your tires.
First, you try to hit the first 2 on your driver's side tire, driver's side front. Then you hit the next 2 with your passenger side front. And then they tell you to hit them with your rear tires.
Okay.
So you're really trying to learn tire placement.
Yep.
And that was my number one feedback when the assistant did it a few years ago, is she had that tire placement like one of the last things.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, she should have really had that first.
Yeah.
Because then you go out and do obstacles and you understand when somebody says, hit this with your passenger tire.
Yeah. What do you need to do to do that?
You know where your passenger tire is.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see they took my advice. I mean, cool. It's all my fault that they did it this way and it makes it better. So so after lunch, do you get royalties for that? No.
Oh.
Yeah. I did talk to them. Remind me about that later because Jason sort of told me about where the money goes. And so remind me about that. But so they all eat in their groups of 4, and then they go out, they do the tire placement, and then they head out into the park.
Okay.
And so there's 4 groups. There's 2 main obstacles. There's the stair stepper, which I worked, and then there's the frame twister, which pretty much has like trees falling down on the ground, right? That you have to drive through.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 trail runs.
Okay.
So, and then they rotate more or less in a circle. So somebody comes down to the stair stepper, then goes out and does a trail run, then comes down to the frame twister and then goes out and does a trail run and then ends up back at area 5.
Okay.
Right. And so they just everybody's sort of rotating around. Yeah. And so we were sort of talking and then we got heard on the radio. It's like, all right, green group's on their way to the stair stepper. And we're like, oh shoot, we need to
get things going.
We need to go. So we went out there and, set up an easy up and got out there and sat there for the majority of the day. I shot a lot of video and they didn't necessarily need me at the stair stepper. I think they more needed hands for registration and organizing and figuring out
early in the day.
Yeah, early in the day, not so much night in the afternoon. Like Checkpoint Dolly and Eric, they became a middle gunner in one of the runs.
Okay.
So so it was fun to see how they did it and see how they ran it. It was fun to see because when I went with the assistant, I didn't go out.
Yeah.
I stayed back at camp, right?
That's
I gave the keys to the assistant and I said, see ya.
Bye. Have fun.
Good luck. So it was fun to go out there and see how they ran it. And one of the things that I heard Jason say this, but I didn't I go, okay, yeah. But when I saw it in real life, I was like, holy cow, it's true. And people are like, and it's, we're experienced wheelers, right? These are people that have never wheeled, but there's the very first group that got there. There was a handful of them that were like, I don't want to go up that.
Oh, the stair step?
stair steps.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
And we're like, but it's,
that's why you're here.
It's nothing.
Yeah. It's not,
like, you know, I remember when I told the story to Jason too. I said, when we came here with the assistant, I drove up to this on Friday night and I said, this is the hardest obstacle you're going to do.
Yeah.
And Bobcat, if you put it in low, it'll idle up it.
Yes.
Right. And so, you know, and it spun out on some sections. You just have to work it back and forth. It got 3/4 of the way up and then stalled, idling. Right. And I said, okay, you need to give it a little gas.
Yeah.
You know, and once I did that, and it put the assistant at ease.
Okay.
But seeing people, you know, kind of going like,
looking at this, looking at this, going like, done this before.
No way. Like it's this, you know, and then some of the steps are maybe a foot tall.
Okay.
You know, and then there's some rocks in the middle of it. And the trail lead on the first group was like a Unimog on 40s. Right. And so it went up and even the people are like, that was like driving over a speed bump for that guy.
Yeah.
You know,
that's like when we cleared a big sluice of the tree with Mark.
Yeah.
And then Hussman drove down the left side and just picked a fun line to go through with his buggy. And then everybody after that, including myself, was like, I'm not going that way now.
Right. Yeah. And then I went that way, but I did a different line.
Yeah.
Right. But it was fun. And then, you know, there was a few double drivers where the women was like, I ain't doing it, you know? And then the guys like, I'm going to do it. And then they went up it. And then they came around and the woman's like, no, I really want to try it now. You know? And then there was one, and I think it was like group 3 or something. The woman was freaked out, didn't want to do it. Didn't even ride up it.
Okay.
Right. Went around and I guess the husband convinced her to do it. And then they came around again. She was sort of concerned, you know, at the base, but you know, there was Daryl, who's now the president of the Esprit de Four.
Okay.
Was at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
There was Chris at the top and Jason in the middle and Chris at the top, I think.
Okay.
And, you know, and so the whole way up, you're looking at spotters.
Yeah.
You know, and the hardest part is just turning into the obstacle
to get lined up,
right, to get a tire up, to start hitting them sort of, you know, opposite tires. And then you just walk up after that.
Yeah.
And man, once she got over that first little hump at the bottom and she started climbing, she just was giddy and laughing and like, just like, oh my God, this is so fun. You know, like you're just stoked, you know, doing it. And that's really what the clinic's about. Yeah. You know, it's taking people, showing them that their vehicle is better than they are. You know, your vehicle can do this, but can you? Yep. And then proving, you know, having people prove to themselves and with a little help on the, you know, the guiders and spotters side, that you can do this too. Yeah. So it was fun. I sat there. We did the 3 sessions. Well, one of the guys caught up to another group. Like one of the trail leaders caught up to another group and then bypassed us and went to go do, like he was supposed to come to us, but then he went and did the last trail run. Okay. And it totally messed us up at the end because now we had 2 groups coming to us at the same time. Yeah. But it was okay. I mean, I at that point went into like parking management mode. And so I was like telling, okay, yellow group or whatever it was, park over here, blue group, park over there, you know, just organizing people like, okay, yellow group, go down there and get your meeting. I'm still trying to park blue group. Okay, now blue group's all parked. Okay, now you guys come down and let's do the talk with you. Yeah. You know, and what was good about that is then they could see people doing it. Yeah. Right. So, you know, Jason gave the talk and he said, this is the hardest part. Watch, this person was going to slip out right here, but it's okay. Just sort of stay in the throttle. Really, the hardest thing to learn at that obstacle was momentum. Yeah. And Jason said it really good. He said, there's a difference between speed and momentum. Yes. You need to keep momentum to get over an obstacle, but you don't need to have speed to get over the obstacle. Yes. So a lot of people, which understandably didn't understand how much momentum they needed to get up a ledge. So they would start climbing and they'd let off. And they wouldn't have the momentum to carry them up over the ledge. Yeah. And that was once they learned that on the first obstacle at the base of that obstacle, then they were able to usually climb the rest of the way up very easily. So it was fun to see people learn, fun to see them do that. Yeah. Once we got our last 2 groups through, I ran up to the frame twister just to see how they did it. They did it very similar. They had 3 people in the frame twister. They guided them, you know, first guy guided them over like 2 logs. The next guy guided them over a few logs. And there's some rocks at the end.
Okay.
The last guy guided him through some rocks. So it was kind of neat to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I jumped in with Kelly because he was tail gunner for that last group. And then we went back to Camp 5. They did dinner for everybody, or you bought an optional dinner, I think.
Okay.
But they had dinner for all
People
the
that bought 'em.
volunteers
Mhm.
and then the people that bought them.
Okay.
And it was chicken and or tri-tip.
Ooh.
And then they had beans and salad and garlic bread. And I think they had a dessert and they had sodas and waters and stuff. And so it was a great meal.
Nice.
Phenomenal. I mean, it tasted outstanding. And Corva came down and
cool.
was there and made a presence.
Who was there from Corva?
I can't remember his name, but it was the guy I interviewed at
About Trek?
At Trek.
Gotcha. Okay.
They're from, where are they from? They're from, I want to say Tracy, but I could be completely wrong.
Railtown Off-Road.
Maybe, yeah, Railtown.
Those guys.
Yeah.
So was it, Joe was over at dinner stuff a lot. So anyways, yeah. Okay.
So it was fun. They said thanks for the podcast interview. It was
Nice.
a lot of fun listening to it when we at Trek. And I said, hey, we need to get you on for a full blown episode. So
Yeah.
So we'll have them on, maybe get Amy on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think technically Amy's not working for Corva anymore.
I don't think she is. I think she started her own firm finally.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's working with a lot of different organizations
Yeah.
as kind of a liaison consultant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what she did for years with Corva, was managed all of their relationships and connections with all of the land managers.
Correct.
So yeah, she's kind of now has all these connections and she's doing great at it. So
Yeah, absolutely. So it was fun to talk to them, hang out with them. I ate with them at dinner. It was funny. He brought a bunch of shirts and he handed out shirts, but he's like, who's got the oldest Toyota, and who has the newest Jeep, or who has, just who owns a black Jeep? And then 5 people raised their hands. And then he's like, who owns a black Jeep between these years? And then he totally whittled it down to 1.
yeah.
So that was kind of fun. And then that evening, after a lot of the volunteers stayed, the participants were able to stay if they wanted, but a lot of them left. And then we pretty much, somebody pulled out, a guy named Wayne pulled out a propane fire pit.
Okay.
A lot of people sat around the fire pit. Jason and I went into his camper because Jason had these little tiny bottles, maybe 5 ounces, maybe 8 ounces, somewhere in that range. And they're called Pure, and they were old fashioned mixes.
Oh, okay.
And it was really cool. So you picked whatever whiskey we wanted in our lineup. And I brought an Old Elk straight wheat, and I brought an Jack Daniel's Gentleman Jack.
Okay.
And then Jason had 5 whiskeys up there too. And so you poured 2 ounces of whiskey into your cup, and then you put a half an ounce of this Pure mix in, and it makes an old fashioned.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was really good. So I started that he had 5 different versions. I'll try to remember them all. I started with original.
Okay.
And then he also had black cherry walnut. He had pecan. He had orange and maple bacon.
So were these the Pure flavor? Was these different flavors?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It was 5 different bottles of Pure.
Gotcha.
That were flavored.
Okay.
Ever so slightly.
Maple
different.
bacon sounds good.
It does sound good. My opinion, it tasted like there was maple there. I couldn't taste bacon.
Okay.
I tasted, and I was telling Jason, I was like, I taste like the umami of meat fat.
Okay.
But the bacon flavor is not there.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, I sort of get that.
Was there anything that was fresh cut grass?
No leather bound books.
No.
Maybe that was all in the original. But they were good.
Nice.
So I did 1 ounce pours with a 1/4 ounce of the flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could so I could get through all 5.
Yeah.
And they were tasty. They were quite good. So I think he bought big bottles of the orange and the pecan, I think.
Okay.
And he's taking those down to Trail Hero with him.
Nice. Yeah. I just found my Hinterhouse anorak
Ooh.
the other day.
Okay.
So I made a bunch of lemonized tea. So it's kind of like Arnold Palmer's, just without using lemonade. You use lemon tea and lemon juice.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a bunch of that for iced tea.
Okay.
And then I've been putting in Jim Beam honey.
Oh, nice.
Into it. And it's just, especially in that really hot week we had, it was amazing. But I poured some out for some family this weekend. And I was like, oh, the anorak is still right here, and I haven't even used it yet.
Got it.
So we need to like bring it down and have an old fashioned day recording or something.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm absolutely down.
Yeah.
But they were like, it was fun and it was very easy. There's some other like Rod and Hammers that Ultra Fort Jones promotes. They make an old fashioned whiskey.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not.
It comes pre-mixed in a bottle.
Ready to go. And it's not there.
Gotcha.
This one tasted more like an old fashioned.
Interesting. Okay.
And it was,
is it a concentrate then, since you're only using so much of it?
Yeah. So what an old fashioned is, right, is whiskey, usually a sugar cube that's been muddled or simple syrup.
Okay.
And then bitters. And I think that's it.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's it. So really it's simple syrup and a flavor.
Yeah. With your whiskey.
So the original was probably some simple syrup and some like normal bitters.
Okay.
Right. And the orange was simple syrup and orange bitters.
Okay.
And so, so they gave you this little bottle that you just pour the whiskey and then here's your pre-mixed,
gotcha. Your flavors
additional flavors.
Okay.
Somebody's going to write in and say I missed an ingredient, I'm sure, but that's what I remember it being.
I think Chris would.
Yeah, maybe. Chris didn't drink.
Really?
Chris couldn't drink. Chris had a medical appointment on Monday. So he ate his last meal on Saturday night and he had some chicken and then all day Sunday he was drinking a salty drink. And you'll hear that on the podcast. I don't want to spoil that.
Okay.
So it was fun. So Jason and I sat in there. We had a few drinks. We felt bad that we were sort of sitting there hanging out and nobody else, like in the camper, relaxing.
You hermits.
And we were
antisocial hermits.
And we're both just bullshitting about podcasting and wheeling and just fun, just fun general banter.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm like, we should be recording this. Like, what are we doing? And then we went outside and hung out with everybody. And as soon as I walked outside with my bottles, because I was going to go put them away because I wasn't going to drink anymore. And I didn't want to leave them in Jason's camper because they'd disappear. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I walked out, everybody's like, oh, you're bringing us whiskey. I'm like, crap.
Was Lorenzo in there?
Lorenzo was in the camper. Yeah.
Is he still in the camper?
I think I got a photo with Lorenzo. Okay. He's still in the camper.
Bummer.
He was doing good. He wasn't drinking much at all either.
Did he have a medical appointment one day?
That I saw.
Right.
But yeah, he's doing pretty good. He's losing a little bit of hair on the top of his head between his ears, but
too much stress from being in Mexico.
Yeah, or hanging out with Jason, one or the other. So I almost poured out. I stopped when the bottle went around. I gave him the straight wheat, which was a mistake because it went all the way around. And there was only like an inch left at the bottom of the bottle. And I put the gentleman jack in front of them next and went and put the straight wheat away because I want to have the rest of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so then hung out by the fire, chilled for a little while, relaxed. I think we went to bed at like 11:30.
Okay.
And there was rain on the horizon, right? So rain was supposed to be coming. And I heard different stories. I heard rain supposed to show up at 4 and it's supposed to be bad at like 8.
Okay.
And I don't know why. Maybe it was the booze or something, but I was paranoid. Like I didn't want to pack a tent away wet and then have to worry about drying it out at another point.
Uh-huh.
And then something happened. Like somebody, I think it was raccoons or something, knocked over like a garbage can.
Okay.
And it woke me up. And then I was laying there going back to bed and then it started sprinkling.
You're like, nope, we're done.
And I'm like, nope. And so I literally hopped out of bed, packed the entire tent, cleaned out my front seat, reclined the front seat and went back to bed in the cab. And so about 7:30 or something like that, I jumped out of my cab and started. And at that point I was packed. Like I was already, everything was,
Yeah, you just unrecline your chair and take off.
pretty much. Yeah. But I hung out, watched a lot of people leave, had some coffee. Jason made some more coffee. I drank some of his coffee, chilled there for a while. And then Jason and I were one of the last two to leave out of the campgrounds. And yeah. And then cruised home. I mean, it's 3.5 hours from there to, from Hollister Hills up to my place. So, and hit a sprinkle of rain over Chepenco Pass and hit a little bit of rain coming into Sacramento.
Okay.
And that was it.
Nice.
And then, Woodland got 4 inches. I'm like, damn, that's nuts.
Right.
But it was a good weekend. It was fun to volunteer, to be a part of it. It's a great event. You know, if anybody's wants to get into off-roading, I'm assuming most people listening to this are pretty involved in off-roading or part of off-roading. But if you have friends that are hesitant to take their rig off-road, like own a 4x4 vehicle, but never put it in 4x4 because of some weird reason, that is the event for them to go to.
So Dylan should go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Shots fired.
Yeah, all anybody that owns a Tacoma needs to go.
Third gen Tacoma owners.
Tacoma owners should go to this event.
5th gen 4Runner owners.
Yeah, there was a 79 series right-hand drive diesel Land Cruiser there.
He shows up every year, doesn't he?
He was a participant.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've heard about a 79 series right-hand turbo diesel almost every year.
So he pulled up and I'm like, is this a 79 series? He's like, you're the first person to get it right.
No way.
And I was like, yes. And then he was in my line. And I walked over because he was right-hand drive. So normally I was standing on the left side of the car being able to talk to everybody. So I had to walk around. I'm like, how'd you get this in the States?
Yeah.
He's like, I have a way. I'm like, damn you. It was rad. It was super clean. And it just putted up the stair steps. Like it was no problem. There was a bunch of Broncos, newer Broncos there. So those people were out and learning.
Fuck those people.
Yeah. Screw them. A lot of JKs. There was some electric JLs.
Oh, that'd be cool.
There. There might've been a Gladiator. Let's see. What weird things there was like a 3rd gen Toyota pickup, like bone stock out there. And the guys just freaking hammered it up the stair steps. They were dual drivers, and the first guy that went was like literally bouncing the truck up the stair steps, and both of them were laughing their ass off. And so the second guy came around, he did the same exact thing. That's so funny. Like it was bouncing off the ground. Like I saw the torsion bars working to full potential.
Yeah.
There was some older school built Jeeps. There was an FJ40. That was pretty cool. There was what else? There was a lot. There was a good variety of rigs, but there was a lot of newer Jeeps and JKs.
Was there anything that like shouldn't really have been out there, like a Subaru or a Touareg?
No, there was. So they don't allow anybody to do it if it doesn't have a low range.
Okay.
You have to have a T case.
Full size trucks.
There was a Suburban.
Okay.
Almost bone stock. He's like, am I going to high center going up this? I'm like, nah, we got you.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. That was probably, there was one or two full size trucks. There was the Suburban. But yeah, there was a lot of very capable vehicles that were stock. So, they just didn't know. They don't have the experience. They didn't know, how to do things. And it's just a great course for that. You know, if you're beginning, you're learning, if you have a significant other that wants some seat time with some experienced people helping you through in a controlled environment, this is a great time for that as well.
Nice.
They do 2 clinics a year.
I still want to get the secretary out.
Yeah.
To do one of those.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now, after buying like a few $100s of Del Rose wine, I'm down to go to Hollister anytime. I want more wine. It's really what I want. But
nice.
It's fun. I'd go down. You guys, you put the secretary in it, and the assistant and I could go down and volunteer. And, we'll go wine tasting and hang out. And one thing that is slightly unfortunate and has changed probably in the last decade is they don't allow anybody driving around in the park at night. So there's no night runs,
bummer.
Which is sort of a bummer.
Yeah.
But it's also, a benefit. I was talking to Ellen. Do you know Ellen? She's one of the longest lasting Esprit de Four members.
Okay.
Just an old crotchety lady that's absolutely a blast to be around.
Okay.
She said that they used to run the clinic Saturday and Sunday, and they would run the clinic. Everything would be great on Saturday. They'd hang out at night in Camp 5. Everybody would, have a few drinks, go out and do a night run. All the rigs would break, and they would have to be fixing them in the morning to try to do the trail runs on the Sunday event. And she's
Nice.
like, I'm glad we don't do that anymore. Like, I'm glad we're not running Sundays, and I'm glad there's no more night runs going on. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point.
That's funny.
So, but it's phenomenal. I think the secretary would have a blast in it and do it. And maybe I'll throw the assistant back in it again.
Yeah. Nice. I think it'd be fun. I want to go check it out. I keep meaning to go there, and I've missed it. I've been trying to get there for like the past 2 to 3 years and still haven't been able to make it out.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's a wonderful event. If you're going to do it, I'd highly suggest camping because it's just fun to camp. And it's a good group of guys and gals out there. And the event's a lot of fun. It does take all day. I mean, we start at 7 something, and we got done at 5, 6, 5, I think.
Okay.
I think dinner started. I think everybody was planned to be off at 4:30, but we weren't off until about 5, and then dinner was supposed to be like 5:15 or something like that.
Okay.
But you're busy all day.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff going.
So what does the money go towards?
Thanks for reminding me. So they give a good chunk of money back to Hollister.
Okay.
And they give a lot of the money. They pay for I can't remember exactly, but they give a ton of money back to almost all off-roading organizations.
Nice.
They give money to Corva. They give money to Cal 4. They give money to Blue Ribbon. Like all their money that comes in for the most part goes straight back into the off-roading community.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so I think they keep a little bit for the club, to probably a very small amount, so that they can like have a Christmas party or some, pay for somebody's dues or something. But like the vast majority of the money that comes in of the profit goes right back into the off-roading community.
Yeah.
So, you could also think of it as I'm going to go learn and, teach somebody how to be an off-roader and support off-roading while I'm doing it, which is cool.
Nice. That's really cool. I had an interesting talk. I got to have a phone chat with Ben, the current leader for Blue Ribbon Coalition.
Okay, nice.
And because I sadly have not signed up Morphle yet as a business partner for Blue Ribbon. And so I was going to do that this week, and I guess word got out to him and he called me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he called me and I was like, hey, how's it going? And I just wanted to see, what can we do for you and your business? And I was like, honestly, like keep fighting and keeping trails open. Like, that's why I'm not supporting you as an extra advertising channel. I'm supporting you because without you guys, this industry would fall apart and disappear.
Right. I'm supporting you because of what you do.
Yes, exactly. And he goes, okay, that's all fine and dandy, but like we want to get more businesses supporting us. So I feel like we need to figure out more ways to give back and support the businesses. And I was like, yes and no. You get the end result of them supporting you, but they're supporting you for the wrong reason, in my opinion. They need to be supporting businesses and every off-road company should be giving something to an off-road trails advocacy organization. You don't have to give to all of them, but at least one. Pick one in your local area or something. Because like at the rate that we are losing trails right now and what's going on in MOAB right now, give it a few years and we're not going to have public land anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And then the whole industry kind of falls apart from there.
Absolutely.
So
do you want to do a very quick talk? Because I think we're going to cover it in a future episode about what's happening in MOAB so that people can act. Yeah,
we do need to talk about it because the deadline for acting on it is coming up.
It's October 7th.
October 7th. Yep. So essentially we talked a little bit about it in the past where the travel management plan, the TMU, travel management plan, TMP, whatever it is, travel management plan for Gemini Bridges and Golden Spike. It's the Gemini Bridges. It's a bunch of the OHV trails in the MOAB area around the Gemini Bridges, Golden Spike area. they had been inventorying all the OHV routes over the past 5 to 7 years. And they've been looking at them and trying to, whenever they inventory routes, and this is kind of what I want to get Ben or somebody, Amy would be another great person to talk about how travel management plans work. But essentially, when they go and look at an OHV route to decide whether or not it should be an open used OHV route, they're looking at it to see if there's other routes nearby that serve the same purpose. And so their purpose to them and what they think off-road recreation is access to an area.
Right. Okay.
They don't view a route as specifically like that's the reason for going there is to drive that route.
Absolutely. They don't see the route as the entertainment.
Exactly. And so when they're looking at what routes to keep, which ones to leave and keep and get rid of, they're like, oh, we only need one route going through this area because it gets across that area to the other side or to whatever this point of interest is over here.
To the highway.
And so we're going to cancel and remove the other 10 routes in that area because there's this one that fulfills that purpose. And it's like, no, you guys don't get it. That's not what we do in off-road recreation.
Right.
So anyways, they have inventoried all the routes in that area and they came up with 4 different proposals, A, B, C, D. 4 different proposals for OHV routes, what they would keep open and what they would close in the Gemini Bridges area. And so there's like the worst one is upwards of 440 miles of OHV routes that they're proposing on closing.
Right.
The best one is like 20 miles of routes that they're proposing to close. And it's like, you shouldn't be doing any of them.
Yeah. Why isn't the worst one not like keeping them all open?
Right. So
we'll dive more into this in the future, but I'll add a link down in the description that if you want to write in and say that you've done these trails and you enjoy these trails, you've driven on X, Y, and Z trail. They really want to know what trails you've been on and that you enjoy driving on the trails. Then it's really about that simple. I think you just need your name. I think they ask your address and phone number and email, and then they have a box there for you to write in and tell them what you've been doing. Yeah. Or where you've been.
It's very simple. And there's already kind of like staged things. The big reasons that we want to try to get across is we drive for the recreation of driving.
Yes.
We like the challenges and we like the views and everything too, but the challenges and the obstacles and the recreation of driving is a big part of OHV recreation. And the other thing is that you close off these forms of recreation, then people who have disabilities cannot go recreate now.
Right.
There's fewer recreational opportunities, fewer places they can get to when you start closing OHV routes. And there's actually, a thing that was passed, I want to say 2019, that is backed by the ADA, the American Disabilities Association.
Oh, cool.
That says disabled persons have just as much right to recreation as non-disabled persons.
Sure.
And so if you can then logically state that by closing these OHV routes, you are now going against this act that came out in 2019, then that's another big thing that you can do as well. So
got it.
But that's listed on Blue Ribbon site, Blue Ribbon Coalition, sharetrails.org. I believe the Red Rock Four Wheelers, rr4w.com.org, whatever it is, rr4w, has a bunch of information on it as well. We're going to get somebody on the podcast to really dive in deep about what's going on there and talk about travel management plans and how OHV routes are set up and managed, how dispersed camping. They're also looking at taking out a bunch of dispersed camping in that area too. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. We're setting up something in the pipeline here to get a really cool couple of interviews to talk about it and help everybody else out there understand what's going on. But we have until October 7th to leave public comment.
Yes.
So make sure you get over and do that before October 7th.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
there
you go. That's MOAB.
There you
got
go.
Me all fired up now.
I know. There it is in a very brief thing. Just, you know, it's short. It's easy. So go and do it.
Yep. 100%.
Click the link down below.
Cool. Jimmy, if people want to get a hold of us or have questions about that, send in feedback about questions about axles that we can answer. If people want to talk about, how can they get signed up for the Esprit de Four Safety Clinic in the future, where can they send those questions to?
Yeah, absolutely. You can email Tyler or I, Jimmy or Tyler at snailtrail4x4.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me over on Instagram, snailtrail4x4. Tyler's at 4x4 Toyota Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
And you can always phone in and leave us a voice message like our local beer professional.
Yeah, Beer Craig.
Mm-hmm. At 916-345-4744.
I like it. And with that, Jimmy, any final words for everybody out there?
Save our trails.
And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
You do?
I do.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Still going.
Still going.
How many episodes later? I'm curious if I'm sure I've repeated one or two, but I'm curious on how many I might have repeated.
Yeah.
So
I wish somebody would go back and create a database of Jimmy's jokes from the podcast.
Maybe
we can create our own little snail trail joke book for everybody.
Yeah. I was at one point I wanted to keep track of every one of the custom intros that we do.
Oh yeah.
And see what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No.
So,
a needle pulling thread.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Why was the math book so sad?
Is it because it got divided by 2?
No,
it got divided into?
That's not bad. No, it's because it has so many problems.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is dividing it into one of those problems?
Could be. Yeah.
Okay, good.